Alone, I sat in the newsroom of Durham College in Oshawa, Ontario, my long blonde hair swept over my shoulders, tucked tightly under my fuchsia toque. I was working on a story about a recent murder in the local community. It was a distressing article for someone as optimistic, extroverted, and cheery as me. It was 6 o'clock on the evening of March 1st, 2019, and my journalism colleagues and professors had already left the building. Suddenly, my cell phone silently buzzed next to me. The noise grew, vibrating loudly now against the table. It rang with a purpose and intensity, as if my cell phone was attempting to wriggle itself away and escape my reaching grasp. I have been waiting for this moment. The number was from Saskatchewan. Was it finally happening? Was it the call of adventure and new beginnings? Far from home, in the middle of the prairies and without a Starbucks in sight? All alone? I answered the phone, energetic and lively, viciously trying to erase all thoughts of carnage from my brain. A news editor named J.C. Garden responded. His voice boomed with such flair and prestige, as if he was reading from a teleprompter for an audience of millions. CTV News Regina wanted to offer me a reporting internship. This internship was required in order for me to graduate. I smiled wide. All I could say was yes. Within the next week, I had booked a plane ticket, frantically organizing where I would stay for the next 7 weeks while working abroad. My manic mind began to mellow as I discovered everything was falling into place. A news anchor at the station named Gina Martin was looking for a temporary roommate and had available accommodations. I watched CTV Regina, studying Gina's on-air presence as she captivated viewers with her likable demeanor. The day arrived for me to depart, and before I knew it, I was soaring above the clouds. Familiarity below began to fade as we flew, leaving the landscape I once knew and entering the unknown. When I arrived, I noticed the vast, flat, and barren environment that lay before me, and that hazy, endless sky, illuminating the earth with a rich blue. My love for meteorology burned within me as I stared at the horizon that stretched for miles. But out of nowhere, I realized again that I was alone. Confusion and anxiety began to overwhelm me. The emptiness of this new world, a lack of belonging. I felt afraid. Unexpectedly, and all of a sudden, I began to love being alone. No longer did I feel the negativity of seclusion. I felt freedom and the desire to explore. Truthfully, I needed to be alone to understand what it was like to actually feel alive. When I walked over to the baggage claim area, I met Gina for the first time. I instantly felt a friendly connection. I met my other roommate who worked at the radio station across town. I was blown away by her positivity and contagious laugh. I shook hands with JC when I entered the newsroom the next day. His perfectly coiffed brown hair and thick-rimmed glasses complemented his award-winning smile. I met another reporter who acted as a grandfather figure, inspiring me to become the best journalist possible. Sure, I felt alone at times, but never felt lonely. I learned to appreciate existing with myself. The 7 weeks flew by in a flash. I began to adapt, travel, and share the stories of people in the Regina area. I visited farms, kindergarten classes, police headquarters, churches, the famous Mosaic Stadium, and legislature. I met the giant moose statue in Moose Jaw, filmed weather demo reels on the green screen, and interviewed a Saskatchewan woman on her historic 109th birthday. When I traveled to an Indigenous reserve for the first time to celebrate the accomplishments of youth in theater, I felt so culturally included. In a way, maybe I wasn't alone this whole time. As a student, I experienced life in a whole new light. My journey to the prairies was special, filled with hard work, determination, and friendship. When I returned back to Ontario, I had a newfound appreciation for embracing spontaneity and aloneness, because sometimes being alone is when the adventure truly begins.
Catherine Fraser, CTV News, Punachai. Catherine Fraser, CTV News, Kew Park. Catherine Fraser, CTV News, near Fort Capel. Catherine Fraser, CTV News, near Krillman. Catherine Fraser, CTV News, George Gordon First Nation. Catherine Fraser, CTV News, Regina. Catherine Fraser, CTV News, Regina. Catherine Fraser, CTV News, Regina.